All right, so this is the Unit 3 test parallel and perpendicular lines. And we're going to start off in this first section, identify each pair of angles as either corresponding, alternate interior, alternate exterior, or same side interior, okay? So one of the strategies that we talked about in my geometry classes is labeling this transversal, making it stand out, so highlighting it in a bright color like yellow. Another strategy we employed was to kind of highlight the interior, so we know the interior is between the two parallel lines, so we highlight that. So we know if it's inside the blue box, that's going to be considered interior. And then after we do all of that, then we like to make the angles that we are focusing on stand out. So we need to know what angle pairs are we even talking about. So X and Y. So where are my red circles? Well, they're outside of the blue box. So we know these are going to be exterior angles of some sort, right? So that means it can't be alternate interior. Can't be same side interior because they're not inside the blue box, so they're not even interior angles at all. So what we look at now is where are they in relationship to the yellow transversal, and they are on opposite or alternating sides of the yellow transversal. So the answer to number 1 is going to be alternate exterior angles, because they are in the exterior and they're on alternate sides of the transversal. Number 2, let's highlight the angles shown. Okay, so here this time I have one angle that's inside of the interior and one that's on the outside, one that's in the exterior. And usually that is a signal for you to consider corresponding, but you want to check to make sure it actually is. Corresponding angles are angles that are in the same position, right? So you know every time two lines cross, it creates 4 sections. We have top left, top right, bottom left. Angle Y is in the bottom left. Let's check where X is. If we do the same thing, we have a top left, top right, bottom left. X is in the bottom left as well. So since they both are in the same position, they are going to be corresponding angles. Okay, so that's 1 and number 2. For 3 and 4, we are being asked to solve for X. So we're going to use what we know about those angle pairs, corresponding, alternate interior, alternate exterior, same side interior. Use what we know about those angles when the lines are parallel, because I can see we have these arrows on our lines signifying that the lines are parallel. So looking at this section 3 through 6, actually, let's go through these same strategies, highlighting the transversal. I'm just going to go ahead and do it for all of them before I switch colors. So remember, the transversal is the line that intersects 2 other lines. And then I want to kind of rope off the interior. So that's just very visible to me. Can you tell I'm a visual learner? And then I want my angles to stick out that I'm focusing on. So I kind of just draw my eye to that information. So I have 123 and X, and I'm going to think about where these are located. And this is just like number 2. These are going to be corresponding angles, same position. we know that corresponding angles are congruent when the lines are parallel. So my equation is x equals 123. Now, I don't need to solve that equation. It's already solved. So that's great. The answer to number 3, 123 degrees. Number 4, we're looking at 82 and x. So here they're both on the same side of the transversal. So you have it both to the left of the yellow line, and they're both inside the blue box. So these are going to be same side interior angles. And we know from theory or from our theorems, same side interior angles are supplementary when the lines are parallel. So supplementary means they add to be 180. So x plus 82 equals 180. And this time we need to solve this for x. So we'll simply subtract 82 from both sides. And use my calculator for this. 180 minus 82 is 98 degrees for x. Okay, so remember that's the one that's different. Same side interior angles are supplementary. They add to be 180 degrees. Okay, everything else, those other angle pairs are congruent when the lines are parallel. Okay, number 5, making our angles stick out. We have x plus 77, and then we also have 70 degrees. Notice they're both in the interior, but they're on alternating sides of the transversal and in alternating positions. So one is at the top, one is at the bottom. That's going to be alternate interior angles, and those guys are going to be congruent. So x plus 77 equals 70. And we need to solve that for x. Subtract 77 on both sides, and x is going to be -7. Moving on, number 6. Once again, making these angles stick out. 11x plus 1, 9x minus 1. These are just like number 4. They're same side, interior, so they're supplementary. So let's set up our equation. We'll have 11x plus 1 plus 9x minus 1 equals 180. All right, and then we just solve this equation once it's been set up. 11x, 9x should give us 20x. 1 and -1 will cancel. And since I'm a highly skilled mathematician, I cannot write that 0. I'll just leave it off. 20x equals 180. Divide both sides by 20, and x is going to be 90 for number 6. Okay. All right, hopefully this is a really good review for you and you were getting these answers correct. Let's move on to the next section. We have find the measure of the angle that makes the lines parallel. So it's written differently, but our calculations will work the same way because we know when the lines are parallel, our theorems and postulates work, right? So when the lines are parallel, corresponding angles are congruent, alternate interior angles are congruent, alternate exterior angles are congruent, and same side interior angles are supplementary, okay? But then we also know the converse of all of that is if those angle pairs are congruent and supplementary, like we said, then the lines have to be parallel. So it works both ways. So here, to make the lines parallel, let's go ahead and just identify the angle pairs. Oops, use the right colors. Transversal yellow And you can see I'm just consistently doing the same strategies over and over, identifying the transversal, identifying the interior, okay? So that helps me to name them properly. So X and 134, now I can clearly see our alternate interior angles, and we know that they are congruent. So here's my equation that I don't have to solve. It's already solved. X equals 134 degrees. Number 8, clearly same side interior angles. But don't make the mistake. Same side interior angles are supplementary, so they add to be 180. Okay. So you just need to subtract that. I believe that's going to come out to be 57 degrees. I will check my math. 180 minus 123. It's 57. All right, number 9. Find the value of X that makes lines U and B parallel. This is the exact same instructions. You just have algebraic expressions this time for your angle pairs. So that's okay. We're going to work it out the same way. We will highlight our transversals. We will identify the interior. Like so, and then we can identify the angles. So we have 50, 9x plus 5. Those red angles are outside of the blue box. They are in alternating positions with the transversal, so they are congruent, alternate exterior angles there. 9x plus 5 equals 50. Solve this for x, subtract 5, we have 9x equals 45, and therefore x is 5 when you divide. So x is 5 is our answer. Number 10, identifying the angles again. Red and red, look, same side, interior. Okay, you describe the location and it will also give you the name. These are supplementary, SSS, same side, supplementary. So we want to set it up this way, 6x plus 15 plus 105 equals 180. Going and simplifying this problem, 6x plus 120 equals 180. Subtracting 120, right, on both sides, and 6x equals 60. Divide both sides by 6, and x is 10 is our answer for number 10. Okay, and we did 10 problems all on transversals and angle pairs. So now we're going to move on into triangles and how parallel lines and things impact that. So number 11, we have a triangle and clearly we have an exterior angle. So remember from your learning in the past that exterior angles are equal to the sum, that means you're adding, the two remote interior angles. And remote means the ones away from that exterior, not touching it. So the exterior angle, 155, is equal to the sum of the remote interior angles, those two. And then you just solve this equation. Subtract 120 on both sides, and x should be 35 degrees. Number 12, we have a triangle, no exterior angles, just all angles in the inside of the triangle. Recall from class that the three angles add to be 180 every time. So you can take angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 all add up to be 180. Now this angle, you have to know notation. This box is 90 plus x plus 12 plus 30 equals 180. And now we will simplify and solve this equation. So 90 and 30, 120 plus 12 is 132. So x plus 132 equals 180. And simply subtracting will solve that for us. And x is 48. Okay, number 13 is very similar to 11. You still have this remote interior angles theorem going on. So this outside angle is equal to the sum of the two remote interior angles, those two that are away from it. So 150 is equal to x plus 130. And to solve this, you just subtract 150 minus 130, and x is 20. All right, just a couple more. 14, just like 13, just following suit. Exterior angle, 4x plus 60, is equal to the sum of the two interior angles. So 4x plus 60 is equal to 6 plus 3x plus 74. So our equation is a little longer, but the setup and the scratch work and everything is the same. We just need to solve this. And I know this looks bad, but this is supposed to be 6 plus 3x plus 74. And you do have to write the problem down correctly in order to get the correct solution. All right. So I'll simplify this side. 6 and 74 can become 80. And then, of course, we want our variable x to be on the same side. So I'm going to move the 3x over. So subtracting 3x gives me x. No, I do not write 1x. I cannot do it. I am highly skilled. Highly skilled mathematicians, we do not write ones, okay? So x plus 60 equals 80. Subtracting 60 over x is 20 for number 14, okay? Let's look at number 15. I have two triangles here. All the other ones were just one triangle. Here we have two. A little bit more advanced question, but we can do it. So here we have only one angle provided, right? There's x, that's not information. And in this space, there's nothing there. So really hard for me to do anything in a triangle that I only have one angle for. So let's look at the other triangle. This one I at least have two. If I have two, I can find the other one because I know all three have to add to be 180. So we can do 51 plus 39 plus, I'm going to say question mark for unknown. I don't want to use x because x is right there, equals 180. So 51 plus 39 is going to give me 90. 90 plus question mark is 180. I think we know that. 180 minus 90 is 90. So this angle is 90. Doesn't matter that it doesn't look like it, or if you feel like it does look like it, it doesn't matter. We don't make assumptions in geometry, and we really shouldn't make assumptions, period. Just life principle. So this is 90. Remember back, vertical angles are congruent, so this is 90. The vertical angles are opposite each other. And now I have two angles in the other triangle, and I can go through the same process and solve for x. Now we have 32 plus 90 plus x equals 180. Right, 32 and 90 is 122. And so I'm just going to subtract 122 from 180 and we'll get our final answer. And so x is 58 degrees for number 15. 58 degrees here, 15. All right, just about done with this chapter 3 test, just 4 more questions. And here is a very strong algebra connection. Still talking about parallel and perpendicular lines, which is what this whole chapter was about. But here you're writing the equations of lines, which is something you definitely saw in Algebra 1. So it says write the slope-intercept form, and that is going to be y equals mx plus b is a formula for slope-intercept form. And we'll use that to write these equations. So 16, they gave us the slope. They gave us the y-intercept. It doesn't get any better than that. Slope is m. Y-intercept is b. So whenever they give you that, you don't have to calculate. You just plug in. So y equals 3/4 x plus 1. And that's it, 16. Number 17, we were given 2 points. They didn't give us a slope. They didn't give us a y-intercept. They just gave us 2 points. So what we have to do is use that to calculate the slope and then also use that to calculate the y-intercept. So remember formula for slope from 2 points is going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So quickly, 5 minus 1, -1 minus -2 is how we'll calculate the slope, and I have several videos on that. 5 minus 1 is 4. See, -1 plus 2 is +1, so our slope is 4. Okay, great. We still need a b, so we're going to have to do some scratch work. So we'll take one of the points that we like, let's say this one, and we'll use the first number as x and the second number as y, and we'll substitute x, y, and m into the formula. So y will be 1, m is 4, x is -2, and then b we don't know, we're solving for. So 4 times -2 is -8. 1 equals -8 plus b, add 8 to both sides, and b is 9. Now, after doing all of that work, the problem has turned into a question like number 16. We have slope, we have y-intercept, just write the answer. So y equals 4x plus 9. That's our answer to number 17. All right, 18. 18, we have a point, and then we're saying parallel to this line, okay? Parallel means same slope, so that means my slope is going to be 2. Slope from this line, parallel, going through this point. So just like number 17, plugging into the formula, x, y, and m. So 4 equals 2 times 1. So got to solve for y-intercept. Okay, subtract 2, and b is 2. So now I have slope and y-intercept. Just need to write my answer. Y equals 2x plus 2. Number 19, last problem. We have a point. This time it says perpendicular to this slope. Perpendicular means we need to flip it. So 3/2 becomes 2/3. and do the opposite. So positive becomes negative. So this is the slope I have to use, negative 2/3. Okay. Still have a point, so I have an x and a y. So using my formula, plug my y in, negative 2 is equal to mx plus b that I need to solve for. So here my 3's cancel, and I'm just left with negative 2. Still have my b. And I need to add this negative 2 over, just add 2. So b is actually 0. My y-intercept is 0. So my equation is going to be y equals my slope, negative 2/3 x. And you could write plus 0. I'm not, because I'm highly skilled, can't do it. But y equals negative 2/3 x for the final answer. And that is the review for the Chapter 3 test. Hope that was helpful. All right. Have a great one.
Totally confused by your math homework assignments? Stop stressing. Post your questions and get free, on-demand step-by-step solutions by math experts. Help for kindergarten through calculus. Join now and accelerate your math success with the Math Success Quadrant, a math help community hosted by Limitless Math.